Warzone is no stranger to controversy. From repetitive accusations, unorthodox gaming enhancers, failed events, and Twitter drama making its way into the item shop, we have a lot to work with here. I'm Ornery, and today we will be going through the entire history of scandals and controversies in Warzone. Although there will be some hacking accusations and discussion with some of these entries, this is not the focal point of this video. More so to capture polarizing topics and events that have happened within the Warzone community. The Cronus Zen doesn't get talked about near as much as it used to, and that's because it's not near as relevant. During Lockdown Warzone, whenever you saw someone beam you, the Cronus allegations would start flying off the shelves. Let me just read to you what Cronus has to advertise on their website. Cronus Zen is a breakthrough gaming device founded on the rich legacy of Cronus Max, which is universally recognized as the world's definitive controller, emulation, and scripting technology. So for those that don't know what that means, a script is a specific code or pattern for each gun you're using that is then able to combat the recoil where it doesn't even exist. Now, I want to start off by saying that this is something you can still buy in 2024, and it's doing like very well for itself, which I find pretty ridiculous. But the fact that it's nearly undetectable despite the anti-cheat saying they can detect it is wild. Anyways, this is another thing to accuse streamers for having, which is overplayed just like most accusations these days. However, there was a period of time where Warzone was absolutely plagued by these things. But the funny thing is, this didn't give you aimbot, it just reduced your recoil, so you could have a Cronus Zen and still be trash at the game. Like I said, these aren't near as prominent as they used to be, but trust me, there are still plenty of script tutorials out there for every gun if you really want to become the ultimate loser. It wouldn't be a Warzone scandal list if we didn't talk about Nadia. I'm sure most of you all know who Nadia is, but Nadia is a streamer who seemingly blew up out of nowhere due to her raw talent, but also stood out for making clips like this.
This clip right here proves why I am the best female Warzone player. I was told that most men fear getting in a game with me. I didn't understand why until I did this.
Now, being a female in this completely male-dominated industry isn't always the worst thing ever, but for Nadia, it probably was. Quickly becoming a punching bag for the community for not only being a woman, but also major accusations. With countless clips supporting these claims, there was a lot of buzz around Nadia, and not in a good way. When confronted, kinda gave pretty lame excuses, if any at all. Anyways, it became part of her identity, and she definitely used this to gain even more impressions and a greater following, which I'll give it to her. It kind of worked out in her favor. I mean, just kind of leaning into the whole situation.
You guys see me play like dog shit. It's because one, I haven't played at all. I have not touched this game, and two, I was not allowed to bring my Cronus.
However, at COD Next 22, which spoiler alert, this isn't the last time that COD Next is going to be brought up in this video, she would be playing on LAN where there is absolutely no way you can possibly cheat. Anyways, her performance was pretty subpar and nothing like what you're used to watching if you tune into one of her streams. Bad aim, clunky movement, and a general lack of game sense led to one of the most infamous clips of all time.
Chad, what is dolphin diving? Like, how do I do it? This is like slide canceling, right? But you can't slide cancel, actually.
I mean, come on. If you're claiming that you're a COD OG, but you don't know what a dolphin dive is, I mean, that's just a terrible look. Anyway, she released a video combating the allegations and kind of defending her performance at COD Next.
I actually was on top of the leaderboard that game with Apathy. We won in, 10 kills. So, but nobody's gonna talk about that though. That was literally the next game after the 4-15 game.
And to be fair, this was a brand new game that she had never played before, and also this is against all the best content creators in the entire world, who for the most part are well above the average skill level. But regardless, definitely not a good look even if she's not a hacker. However, it doesn't end there. One last blemish on Nadia's record was when she received a donation with a remark about cheating. She then doxed the donator out of anger.
I used your name as Daddy Slayer, and you said, enjoy using cheats. But what you don't know is that when you send me money on PayPal, it actually gives me your full name. So Charlie, thank you for the $1 dono, Charlie. I hope that for whatever reason, you find actual time to do something in your life, because now you look like a idiot.
I mean, to me, this is one of the most harmless and innocent remarks you could make to any streamer. And since she's already laid into the accusations, I don't know why she decided to kind of just blow up. But she did apologize and kind of bounce back, so I guess that's all right. But as far as if she cheats or not, I for one don't know if she does, nor do I really care. Maybe once upon a time, but if you're cheating in the past, chances are you're cheating now. But it's kind of once a cheater, always a cheater, I guess. Anyways, it seems like she's made the most out of the situation. She's pretty popular on Twitch and kind of almost like an influencer at this point, doing IRL streams and whatnot. I will definitely give her props for that, because for the longest time this was all you would hear about, and it just got so exhausting. hot topic for Warzone and other games with heavy skill-based matchmaking is the use of VPNs. Now, using a VPN for personal use is a wonderful and almost essential in today's world, but to use one to curve your skill-based matchmaking and deceive your audience is awful. Cranking up No Sweat to spoof your location to dance on kids in Cambodia is nothing short of pathetic. I know that SBMM has tainted the game and is responsible for Warzone sessions that are just extremely unfun, but it's a part of the game and I think it's cringe when people feel like they need to find a way around it. Now, I wouldn't go as far as calling it cheating, but I find it more scummy and deceitful, especially if you're lying about it like I just said. If you're one of those people who don't have a problem with it, then good for you. I've seen YouTube short live streams with blatant text saying VPN is not cheating. Pretty much every streamer is accused of this, and once again, I really don't care. I mean, I guess I get it if you're really that desperate for content, and there's even some people who buy VPNs just to like deliberately try and get into these streamer lobbies so they can catch these streamers using VPNs. But apparently even doing that doesn't necessarily prove that they're using a VPN, which to me makes absolutely no sense, but this is beyond my like comprehension, I guess. All you have to do is be transparent about it. It's a pretty polarizing topic that got even more spicy once 2boxing was discovered, and some even say that's more effective than VPNing. For those that don't know, 2boxing is when you have a dummy account that's brand new in your party to dramatically bring down the SBMM. Then once the game starts, you have them leave so there's no evidence that they were in there in the first place. This seems to garner a lot more transparency with the community, unlike VPNing. I mean, just listen to what Joe had to say about the subject.
The lobbies I see people get, after I 2boxed for the first time like 3 days ago, the lobbies are night and day different. It's not even close. So now I know. Trust me. If I'm 2boxing, I'll say, yo guys, today we're 2boxing, we're getting content.
Copy that.
We're dropping bangers all day. Problem is, a lot of people just do it and just don't say anything. It's like, bro, I know that lobby's not normal.
2boxing is also more accessible, or I guess easier than VPNing, since all you need is an extra console, PC, or a friend with a fresh account, which for that, all you really need is an email. Anyways, it's basically the same thing as VPNing, only apparently it's better, but still pretty lame if you're a creator and you lie about it. The first COD Next was in 2022, and it may have been the worst one of the 3 we've had. Let me get one thing straight. The template for COD Next is one of the most beautiful events we have for Call of Duty, bringing a ton of people who are passionate about the game to play it early and give some feedback. Well, Warzone 2 debuted at this event, and well, streamers weren't exactly pleased with it. Awful backpack system, terrible gunplay, and no movement. Well, these concerns were voiced, and when Warzone 2 launched, nothing was changed. We still had the cluster disaster that resulted in one of the most failed states of Warzone we've ever had. Potentially the biggest failed COD event of all time. Putting streamers and other celebrities in video games as playable characters is nothing new, so when it was announced that Nick Mercs and Tim the Tatman were going to be getting their own operators, it made a lot of sense. However, shortly after the release, during an LGBTQ protest at a school board meeting, Nick Mercs tweeted, "They should leave the children alone, that's the real issue." And that was it. He was immediately attacked for this, and shortly after, Activision tweeted, "Due to recent events, we have removed the Nick Mercs operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating Pride with our employees and our community." Now, a lot of people were happy with this decision, but I would say even more were furious and thought this was just like completely over the top and like a big overreaction. Other streamers supported Nick Mercs during this situation. Most notably, Tim the Tatman tweeted, "Nick Mercs has been my friend for years. We went and getting our COD operators together. It feels wrong for me to have mine and him no longer have his. In support of my friend, please remove the Tim the Tatman bundle." I don't think Nick Mercs was trying to hurt anyone by saying that, and nor do I think his operator skin deserves to be removed or be painted like in a negative light. I think Activision jumped the gun and took the situation way too far, like really quickly at that. But maybe this is a testament to the risks involved with adding real life people to video games. If you don't agree with everything that they say, or more importantly will say, then don't add them to the game. His operator has never been added back to the game since. Shadow bans have been an ongoing problem since Warzone's launch and are given for the dumbest reasons. Every now and again, a shadow ban will be thrown out to an actual cheater, but for the most part, a shadow ban is given to someone who is simply good at the game. But what I want to highlight here is that for a period of time during Warzone 2, if you got 10 kills in a game, no matter what, you would immediately be kicked and shadow banned. This had no parameters, just as long as you got 10 kills, you were done for. This eventually did get fixed, but this showcased how pathetic of a system the anti-cheat is and targets non-cheaters. Hell, I was in a lobby where one of my friends reported an actual cheater, and my friend got shadow banned and the cheater did not get banned at all. What sense does that make? For For those that don't know, Magnificent is a streamer who was permabanned early in the Verdansk days of Warzone as a speculated cheater. As time went on and with the new account, he was able to continue his career as a streamer, but was still heavily criticized and accused of cheating. Anyways, at last year's World Series of Warzone, WAG qualified and competed in the tournament, but for some reason had very subpar performance. Now once again, I'm going to let you all make of this as what you want, but I think it's pretty important that someone's at-home skill level is somewhat reflected accurately at a LAN event, but this one is extra juicy since he had already had a bad track record going into this. Similar to Nadia, this is a lobby with all the best players in the world, so maybe it was just a bad day, but most think it's simply a cheater without his cheats. But here's Husker's take on the situation.
Like I'm fairly confident that he hasn't been cheating since like Caldera and now, and I think his team just like, I think his team just in general the bed in the tourney for some reason.
I wasn't sure whether to include this or not, but there have been several items in the shop that have given players an advantage. From the rose skin that let you blend in with your surroundings, the Gallantry Mac 10 blueprint that flat out buffed your damage, and even thermal optics locked behind a paywall that are just flat out better. Warzone has seen a lot of pay to win, and I even have an entire video that you should watch. And it doesn't even stop there. There's also pay to lose items, like a skin that bugged your accuracy, a skin that flat out obstructed your view, or did whatever you want to call this to your gun. I have a video on pay to lose also, but maybe give them a watch after this one, or don't, I don't care. Just figured these were pretty controversial, so we'll go ahead and throw them in here too. This is another software exploit that I first became aware of at the launch of Warzone 3, but has probably been abused before then. Free WASD is a software that allows you to remap buttons on your controller and mouse and keyboard to any other button. Doesn't sound too harmful, right? Well, the software is also capable of tricking your game into thinking you're using a controller when you're actually using a mouse and keyboard. This resulted in mouse and keyboard players getting aim assist. Now, the whole point of aim assist is to give the controller players a 1-up since all they have is a thumb to aim, while mouse and keyboard players have their entire arm. So when you have your entire arm to aim and also have aim assist, you're at a massive advantage. Mouse and keyboard players started using this exploit since the software was super simple to set up, and now we had another Cronus Zen situation all over again. Luckily, Raven was able to deploy a patch in early January of this year that was able to detect this software and turned it into a bannable offense. However, as of me doing research for this video, I found several new softwares that offer the same service, and if they're undetectable, that means that this could potentially still be a problem in Warzone. And no, I am not giving the name of those softwares a shout out here. I will say Lord Hex Squad used this software to be able to play with Joy-Cons in Warzone and COD, which was hilarious, and he is unfortunately not able to do so anymore. People just had to ruin the fun for him. Also earlier this year, we had a few massive ban waves that targeted specific cheating softwares that were now detectable. Through these ban waves, there were now over 100,000 accounts banned, which is wild. With this wave, you think Warzone would kind of be like free of cheaters for a little bit. Well, just a couple months later, MW3 would join Game Pass, which means you get the game for $1 on your first month. Not only for Xbox, but for PC as well. So now that a ton of people have their base game to level up their guns, they can cheat all they wanted to until their accounts were banned. Then they would unsubscribe, make a new account, throw Microsoft another $1, and rinse and repeat. The only thing was they probably weren't even going to get banned because once the Game Pass players began playing, when you were on the PC, the game still thought you were playing on an Xbox. This meant that Ricochet wouldn't even begin to accuse your account of cheating, even though doing so very blatantly. If you thought the anti-cheat was bad, this was one of the worst cheating influxes Warzone had ever seen, but even more so on the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer side of things, specifically in Ranked. World Series of Warzone is the most competitive and grand stage for all Warzone players. The best and also maybe the worst part about it is that anyone can compete. Well, during the last chance qualifiers of this year, which as the title says, the last chance for players to make it to the LAN, Vexo was caught cheating. I'll let this Discord call do most of the explaining, but for context, Vexo was caught cheating in a now deleted VOD, and Robeezy, his teammate, discussed it with him. Now, the really sad thing about this is that Robeezy had absolutely nothing to do with this and was not aware until like it came out, and the more you watch this Discord call, the more pathetic and just like grimy it gets. I'll go ahead and roll the film.
I did that shit, bro. I know.
You yacked up for LCQ and NA finals.
I've been yacked up for a while, bro. You the band chick? A while.
How long?
Since early February, middle February, around there. I'm sorry I put you and your brand in that risk. I know it's my fault. It shouldn't even fucking happen in the first place. I'm wrong for doing it. I'm about to come out on Twitter and admit the shit. I got caught in the first place.
Shut
it
the
was
f up. Shut the f up. You
Yeah, I
shouldn't
know,
have got
bro, I
caught. You
know.
thought you were gonna go to land and drop fucking 3 like WAG in 6
I'm
minutes.
good.
What the did you think? What the did you think would happen? Discredited everything that I did the past 6 months to get to this point. What do you do with your life, bro? You don't go to school. You don't have a job. Your parents are fucking millionaires. They pay for everything, bro. And you thought you were gonna skate your way to fucking to World Series land?
But if you think we're the only team doing that, bro, be
That was
fucking
your
for real,
justification. That was your justification. You're rich. Your parents are rich. You drove a Porsche.
I want to make a career for myself, bro. Like, bro.
Oh my god, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're a fucking coward.
Yeah, just really lame stuff here. I think this is the ultimate highlight of how far cheaters can make it in a professional Warzone tournament, all because Ricochet's anti-cheat is trash. On top of this, it steals opportunity and potential money from a bunch of other players. I know it sounds dumb since this is just video games, but these things don't fly in professional sports, so why would esports be any different? I don't know how you could punish people like this, maybe implement some type of like paperwork when you sign up for it, maybe like you're subject to fines if you break the terms of service or something, but then even that just sounds like stupid and cringe. Just let us all have fun and don't ruin it for everyone else. Now this one really isn't all that controversial and there's like no information regarding it, but in the Black Ops 6 beta, there's been a noticeable nerf to aim assist that will probably be part of the game come launch day. But as far as what this means for Warzone in the future, I think it might shake things up just a little bit. I talk about it in my controller versus mouse and keyboard video, but I would love to know what everyone's thoughts are on the subject. I think this will help increase the skill gap dramatically, which Warzone needs all the help in that regard, but only time will tell. But that's the entire history of scandals and controversies in Warzone. Let me know if you want a part 2. There was a lot of things I didn't put on here that I could definitely squeeze into another video. If you want to hear the entire history of pay to win, pay to lose, glitches and exploits or snipers, click on screen now. Join my Discord if you're feeling crazy. Help change this statistic, and if you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and thank you so much for watching.